motorcycles need to be checked regularly. If you don't ride every day, you need to check it before you go out, and make sure that you're in the right zone. Your bike should have a sticker on it that kind of gives you a base for what that pressure should start out as. Sometimes you find little variance with that pressure that rides better with, depending on the tire that you're riding on, that you can run with. But that's a key thing, because you only got 2 tires, so if one goes down, it's goes south quick. So it's important to set those and check them. Even if you're riding every day, it's a good idea to check them, because if it felt fine when you got to where if you got home, or if you're out on a trip or something like that, get up the next morning, doing a quick check to make sure that everything is still good, is a real good idea. So a lot can happen. You pick up a small puncture or something, and by the time you get up the next morning, you've lost a good amount of pressure. It's good to check that and make sure that everything's okay before you take off. Brakes would be another. It's important that we can go, but we also need to stop when we need to stop, or slow down. So checking brake pads, make sure that their wear is still in a good usable range, so that when you head out on your ride, you know that by the time you get back, you're still going to be able to stop when you pull into the driveway. So, as well as checking not just the pads, but the disc itself, that can wear down. But your brake lever, how it feels, that brake fluid will break down over time. It does have a maintenance interval. Generally, every couple of years, that fluid needs to be changed out, so that you get the actual performance that you're supposed to out of that braking system in there. So having that brake fluid changed regularly so that it does its job for you. Then checking over, looking for any leaks, things. There's a lot of vibrations on a motorcycle. We're riding. We like to go fast. They rev a lot higher than other vehicles, so things can come loose. So looking for loose fasteners, making sure nothing's rattled loose, nothing's starting to leak. Seals can let go, whether that's on the engine or on the suspension. If a fork seal starts leaking, that can get onto your brakes, and then suddenly you don't stop like you need to when it comes time to do that. So checking for those things before you head out, and making sure that everything is working like it should be. And then the lights, we want to make sure that our tail light is on, and our brake lights actually function when we pull a brake lever or foot pedal. Make sure those switches are working, and that light is working. Whether it's a lot of the new bikes have LEDs, and those seem to hold up really well, but a lot of them are still a bulb, and those do burn out or wear and stop functioning like they should. So checking those things, making sure your indicators actually blink when you push the button to turn those on, so that when you have the best chance of letting another driver on the road know what your intentions are when you go to change a lane or make a turn.
LEDs are cheap to replace
What?
your bulb.
What's that?
The LEDs are cheap to replace your old.
Yes.
LED.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can swap those incandescent bulbs with an LED bulb. They're readily available pretty much anywhere at this point. So that's absolutely. So they're oftentimes brighter, and they last 10 times longer than that incandescent bulb does. So yeah, absolutely. Good point. So those are some quick things to check. Various bikes have different drive mechanisms, so you can have a chain drive or a belt drive or a shaft drive. Checking those things, making sure that your chain and sprockets are in good condition. The chain is adjusted, so making sure you have proper slack in that, whether you have too much slack or too little, is important for everything to function as it should. But those sprockets will wear as well, so checking the teeth on those sprockets as they wear, they have less engagement with the chain, and I've seen it where they wear down to a point where, hey, my bike's not moving like it should be, and that's because the chain is slipping over the worn out teeth on the sprocket. It's pretty extreme, but it happens. But it's a simple thing that you just, sometimes you don't think about that. But on a belt drive bike, checking that belt, it'll age, and it's they last a long time, but they will start cracking from weather. So checking the condition of those and the sprocket that those go around, they do wear as well. So making sure that those things are in good condition, so that you're actually moving like you should be, and don't want to have a failure on one of those. A chain or a belt coming off is a pretty good way to end a ride. So, but otherwise, just like I said, general look over the motorcycle and look, if something looks out of place, something looks like it didn't the last time you took a look at your bike, making sure everything seems like it's functioning as it should, so that when you head out, you're going to make it back safely. Does anybody have any particular questions about maintenance or pre-ride inspections and such? We don't really have a particular off-season, thankfully. We're in an area where we can ride year-round. Maybe a few days we don't necessarily want to, but for the most part, we get a year-round riding season. So there's not a whole lot of winterizing that happens. But
what's your schedule looking like to get my brake fluid changed?
Brake fluids, I can flush those pretty quick, so we can schedule that in and out. So yeah, no problem there.
And where are you located?
Up in Georgetown. I've got a small shop right off the 130 toll road and Highway 29. It's
easy to get to.
Yep, yeah, easy to get to. I do full maintenance, specialize in suspension work, so happy to take care of any pre-ride, post-ride, getting ready for a trip or anything like that, whether it's a cross-country ride or going to the track or just commuting every day. Any other questions about working on a motorcycle or getting ready to ride?
When will you start doing electric bikes? I've got the live wire.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, as far as maintenance goes, that's not a problem. If there's an issue with the electrical system, that may or may not, depending on which side, the low voltage side of things, that shouldn't be a problem. But some of the higher voltage side